Yo, what up, what up, what up? Just gonna read this verse here in Ecclesiastes. It is chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth towards the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. Alright, bet. So, that verse right there in Ecclesiastes is about the cycle of life, how everything moves in cycles. Alright? Including time. Time also moves in a cycle. And this is just me meditating on the verse. And yes, there are several commentaries that are available, but I wait and I see and I hope and I pray. Sometimes I beg that the Holy Spirit delivers something to me. Notice that I use the word deliver, and I use it according to the Bible frequently because it has to do with elder. You see, I know the power of words, and by delivering the message of the word, then he delivers me. So I use the word deliver because my mind is like Moses when he delivered the Israelites from Egypt. They walked around in circles. That's a cycle, 40 years, you see. And I'm 39, so quite frankly, I got a little ways to go. But wisdom comes down and plants seeds. And, you know, it's not the same as knowledge. Knowledge is nothing different than a series of measurements. Wisdom is epiphanies, like symphonies that come down in your mind that illuminate the entire show. The eye seen everything that it needs to see, and nothing is new under the sun. And the sun is the light for the human being, but it does not illuminate the things that one sees. You will have to change your perception or even change your perspective. Therefore, those things remain in the same cycle, following Moses those 40 years away from Egypt. Your thoughts go round and round, and nothing new surfaces. Nothing is new under the sun. And you're like the sun god called Horus, because you're trapped in this flesh like a catacomb. Take note of the rivers, how it mentioned in that verse. They leave the seas at certain points so the sea doesn't overflow, then delivers it to other places. Same with the wind, how it moves like it moves in a circle. We call electricity a current, and at the same time, we say the same thing about water when there's a wave in the ocean, or a new topic that enters the news into your mind, something new to move about in a circle. See, these things that I speak to you, let me break it down and let me try to stop rhyming, because I rhyme you guys a lot of time with wisdom because it compresses the knowledge. That way you could fit the entire seed into the soil of the mind. You see, let me break this down, man. Everything moves in cycles. Everything moves in cycles. There has to be a cycle. Imagine the heartbeat, right? Your arteries and veins. It moves in a cycle. There's a body mass, and there's a body of water, and there's a body of land, and there's the earth, and they're both 80% filled with water. There's a heart of the earth, and there's the heart of man. The circuitry of land would be rivers and streams and creeks, rivers and what have you. The circuitry of man would be his blood and his breath, like the wind, a circulatory system that's respiratory. Tornadoes move in cycles, so do cyclones. To be in the eye of the storm where everything is calm, that's where you can observe it. This probably is still missing a lot of niggas, so let me go through it. The sea and ocean never flood out really so much. Not to say that floods do not happen, but quite frankly, look at the design of the earth. 80% water. It flows out of rivers so that those rivers don't overflow. The wind blows in the air and it moves like in a circle. High winds, low winds, atmospheric pressure dictates the cycle that the wind blows in, but it still moves in a cycle. Time moves at a cycle. You could look at people, they're predictable like animals. Just look at the trends. That's why we're looked at like dogs. There's not too much of a difference in the way that we think. A dog is no different in thinking like Dora the fish. Begging strips, begging strips, begging strips. Such is the same as men or anyone that's anticipating something that they're looking forward to. Dogs at the races, chasing the rabbit around the cycle, never getting to what they're looking after. These are the cycles of things. Dimensionally, the rivers are like the blood inside of a man. It moves in a cycle. It has a circuit. There's a current of water and there's a current of electricity. Right? We even spend money, that's mammon, that's currency. On the news, when we watch it to see what's happening currently. So these are the things that Solomon is talking about, is that nothing is new under the sun because people do the same things. And the new thing, when you follow the Lord, then you become aware. You have awareness. Those who do not deal with the Lord will not be able to have that awareness. You cannot serve two masters in this world. And for those who went in the way and signed up for things, I ain't judging you, but quite frankly, what I said is true. You're gonna grow a lot slower. That's what it was there for. Knowledge, though it has lots of information, it could perceive nothing new. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's how your mind works. The things I say are very easy to understand, yet I see so many grapple with it. And in the circumstance of knowledge, one thing I notice about knowledge is how self-absorbed knowledge is. Knowledge is inextricably self-absorbed. It cares not for the next man's plight. It fills up on dollars. It does what it can for itself, and it knows a lot about self-preservation and survival. Even with all of that, that just keeps a nigga stagnant in his thinking. Wisdom is about thriving. It's about growing. It's about the bigger picture that brings forth awareness. For those who did not choose the Lord or are not going with the Lord, just know they're moving like the water and they're constantly going in circles. That's what Moses had to deal with. They struggle with being faithful because they're faithless. Why would I marry him? Me get the fuck down on my knee for any female? You must be on drugs. Not even to marry him. I only bow before God. Not man or a woman or any form of creation. Who the fuck came up with that shit? We live in a world of simps. We're like the juice that's concentrated in the refrigerated section. Simply. So that's what I want to talk about in regards to this verse. Are you moving in circles? Are you going in cycles? Are things difficult for you to put together and understand? Am I complicated to understand? If I'm complicated to understand, some of y'all need to get out of your double-mindedness. This is written about in James though, but let me help you out a bit. If you're going to look down on me and I'm irrelevant, that means you look up to me and therefore you expect more. So you have to pick a lane. These are the splinters in your mind that I told you about. Right? Back in the day, the threats and the many jokes about my IQ being low. Why was you interested in it in the first place? My IQ probably isn't low. I really didn't even try on the IQ test. Let's be honest. Does a low IQ reflect what you hear and you can't understand? I'm okay with having a low IQ. Are you okay with me being smarter than you though? Where do you stand? See, you don't know yourself and you don't know the way that you think. And I see the cycle that you're walking in. You're going in circles. You're going in circles, man. Either I have a low IQ and I say dumb things and you understand what I'm talking about. Because even if somebody is dumb and they're wrong about something, somebody can figure out what they're talking about, right? But that's not the case with me. People don't seem to be able to understand what I'm talking about. But they call me dumb and I'm alienated. I think that's pretty intricate. Niggas could put together a rocket, but not understand one passage of the Bible, and we call them geniuses. Get the fuck out of here. They know everything about machinery and not an inkling about life. How are they living? They're not. They're just slaves. And all they have to say to the rest of the world is, I'm wealthy though. But they spend their life working. They ain't never spent a dime of it. That's no different than being in an underground bunker working yourself to death. And I'ma back away from those people that's getting anxious. I can feel your heartbeat. Yeah. In terms of the mirror technique, is that I understand that people are spiritually backwards. So there's a lot of fingers that was pointed at me over several years. Okay. Fingers were being pointed at me and I was being accused of things from individuals that didn't even know me personally. You know what I mean? On a mass level, and it's no secret. Everybody knows what time it is with that shit. But it's like, how do you know me and how do you know that's true? They have no proof that I did anything. I didn't do anything. And they don't even know my name. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even know my whereabouts. When they went to stalk me at the different states that I used to live, they went to the wrong places. And then when they went to the state, they went to the wrong place inside of that state. You see? For any targeted individuals will understand this. And the mirror dynamic is interesting. Because quite frankly, in a mirror, when you look at it, everything is exactly the same, except that it's exactly in reverse. That makes it look identical. If you pick up your right hand, your left will lift up in the mirror. That's just the truth. So seeing people who are spiritually backwards that are vain in this world, then I can pick them out quickly. I let them tell me about me who they don't know from their word bank, and then I know all about them though. You see, if this world is backwards and anybody looking at the news and the hoopla, how everything is backwards, and me sitting in my house, deprived from an opportunity to work in America, think about it, spiritually backwards, in a woke generation, Black Lives Matter. Look at what happened to me. Everybody silenced. That's a whole network. That's how quick I move. Y'all niggas catch up. Heinz 57. So what I'm saying is, quite frankly, it should be evident that if these things are happening to me, then that would be a cause for concern. See, America started this in China over this coronavirus shit. And here's what's interesting. They were wearing face masks first before it was even heard of. And now look at America. Niggas driving. Only person in the car with the face mask on. That shit is hilarious. It would be safer if they didn't wear it if they were driving alone, so they don't catch all that bacteria coming out of their mouth. I'm just being honest, I guess. I mean, it's kind of goofy, man. But so anyway, back and forth now, America looks like China. Yeah, kind of like that. Fascist regime, regulation of the internet. Look at my shadow ban. Niggas know what I'm talking about. How they do the internet in China. It's either shit is reversed or we're getting taken over subliminally. A lot of our CEOs come from Asian countries. Let's just be honest. A lot of shit changed since the 90s. You know I've been talking about it. So, this is the mirror technique. And the mirror technique is pretty interesting, but you will have to know how to observe and use your eyes. One thing I need to relearn how to do is how to draw. A lot of niggas think they can see. You see what I'm saying? But can you draw? See, if you could see, you should be able to explain to your hand what you're seeing. So quite frankly, you should be able to draw it easily. But drawing is a thing. Take a second to think about that. The picture in your mind you cannot convey to reveal it. So it's kind of almost like you're seeing and experiencing two separate things, let alone the hand-eye coordination. See, you're not really as gifted as you fucking think. This place is a matrix. This is the mirror dynamic. There's many different facets. I can't teach you all of it in one class. I'm tired of YouTube. I'm about to try to get a Vimeo and push it on Patreon. I really don't want nobody seeing my shit, even though they backlogged my hardware on my hard drive. But having this information without somebody to explain it as easily as I explain it, I don't gotta worry about how much they take, because there's nothing new under the sun, and they are like sun gods, and I may as well call them rain. I deny my flesh and I fight with it. They doing the opposite. That's a mirror dynamic. That's the shit I'm talking about. Therefore, they can only see a little amount of it. That's just the truth. There's a vast difference between wisdom and knowledge, and I think it's obvious when you hear these podcasts. People will struggle to steal my shit because, quite frankly, they don't know how it goes together, and I don't even have to brag about it. But if I'm in my house and I don't have right to work in America, less rights than a foreigner, that should even make the veterans a little bit pissed off. It should tell you a lot about your country's principles. It tells me a lot about my own people, and even those in my same predicament. They're too involved with being self-absorbed, so they don't know nothing at all except their circumstances. They grow real slow due to this thing. It's like they walking in molasses with American dreams. And we in a recession. Look at the stock market. Parking lot still full. That don't make no sense. But that's the reality. Everything is chaotic. Everything is backwards. If I am the broke man, I probably should be a rich one. That's just the truth. Niggas is talking about simps, and this whole thing is a test. And when God chooses to eclipse it, when the smoke clears, I'ma be looking a lot different. You gonna be looking truthful. That's the mirror dynamic. This whole podcast, I've been speaking to the whole of civilization like, what the fuck happened to you? I'm the only nigga on planet Earth that asks questions. At least Kanye will speak up, and at least he's more useful than the rest of you sycophants. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Alright. So basically, this is continuing on from the cycles. You know, nothing is new under the sun. Alright. And in order for something to be new under the sun, for anything to be under the sun, it will have to be observed, because the sun is a celestial body that you cannot exactly identify with. Right? So in terms of the sun, and what we're talking about is the flesh, and the flesh is an elemental aspect of Egypt, the bondage. Egypt equaling spiritual bondage. Numbers 111 equals Egypt. That is equative to your flesh and those impulses that go through it. That there is nothing new under the sun, so it's like you're the walking dead. You have no new awareness. Every day is exactly the same. And I feel sorry for every nigga that sells out, because they find out pretty soon that without God, everything is pointless. And those that didn't know God before they sold out, that shit, they thought that life was bad, but now it's completely worthless. That's just the truth. Everything is vanity. Everything is vain. Nothing has any value. Look at the things that are worth anything to you. Many people had kids just to deal with the future. They were too afraid of it. And these are our oppressors. But I ain't oppressed by shit, cause ain't shit here to be impressed by. And death is just another part of life that a nigga needs to get by, cause I got Christ. And I am telling the rest of these niggas that just wanna deal with this three-dimensional existential prison in this echo chamber, learning the same things like a bunch of fucking parrots. It only leaves the mind to degrade. Nothing new, everything old, all the time, every day will degrade the mind to turn into strange little fetishes, especially with their sexual appetites. Many started in one place and now they're without natural affection. All this battle of the sexes, the pushing and pulling, is that both sides has an issue that they don't know how to deal with. I am blessed because I am still simple, intrigued by the mechanics of how God created them females. It don't really take that much before a lot of niggas, after you get that excess, then it's a fight between the excess and your self-control and those impulses. And then you find the sun, cause you will lose. And then you end up in bondage. If you can't keep up, you'll just have to replay this note. Once you end up in those bondages and you possess that thing that you're after, then that thing possesses you, like them underground parties. Gotta pay some extra money for it. Now they got a habit, an addiction that they need something else out that existential prison. They're like a cog in the wheel now. The oppressor above is like, yeah, I got him. He ain't going nowhere. He got it bad. Kinda like Usher. We see this shit all the time, niggas. Day in and day out. Niggas got all kind of afflictions. I watch pimps in the inner city and highlighter suits detail they females out to these tricks and then become preachers. I'm quite confused, nigga. So, I say this shit with love, that there is nothing new under the sun, and I'm talking psychology, the mentality in between the contents of your brain. That you only see what you see. And what you see is all things old, although there's other things around that you'll never be aware of. What is spiritual bondage? What is spiritual blindness? Where are you located? Back of the dollar, there's the capstone. I think we in Egypt.